Welcome back to Indie Wavemakers at Taipei Game Show Day 4. In this session, get ready to embark on a thrilling journey of 2.5D action adventure in The Devil Within Satgat. And with that, I have Rob with me from Newcore Games. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. It's so good to have you here. So to kick off, can you briefly introduce yourself as well as the Newcore?
Oh, so my name is Rob. I'm the communications manager and part of the business development team at Newcore Games. We are a studio that's based out of South Korea, and we're making The Devil Within Satgat, which is, as you said, a 2.5D action platformer, because that's the series that all of us in our company kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
So, you know, games like the Mega Man series, Castlevania, we want to add modern elements like Devil May Cry and Sekiro, and put that together and make a really flashy game.
I can see that, definitely, from the trailer. So, tell me more about the game. What is this game about?
The game is about, in terms of the story, it kind of lends itself from East Asian mythologies and stories.
I see.
Primarily from Korea, but, you know, Asia shares a lot of stories and commonalities, right? So it is how there's a tower that suddenly appears in the world of The Devil Within Satgat.
We can see that?
Yeah.
Like the red tower,
And at first it brought in a lot of prosperity, but also showed up with a lot of demons and, I guess, abnormalities. And so Kim Rip, our main character, he is setting out to kind of solve the mysteries of the world, but also becoming somewhat corrupted himself along the process.
Oh, so like at the same time, he also need to face like the demon inside.
Exactly.
Like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, why don't we get started on this game and let's delve more into this corrupting world.
Sure. So we're gonna just go into with the continue.
Okay.
The save file that we provided basically has already skipped the tutorial, so now we're just in the beginning portions of the game.
Right.
So he enters into the ruined city. He isn't quite sure how he ended up here, but he also has a spirit that kind of falls around with him.
Ah, I see that.
And the purpose of the spirit, from a developer standpoint, is to kind of provide the narration so that Kim Rip, you as a player, can just focus on the action while someone is kind of telling you the story.
Like doing the narration part.
Exactly.
Right.
So there, like in other action platforming games, there are things that you can pick up and kind of go along, and it is a close range type game.
Okay.
So you have X, which is your weak slash. It doesn't do as much damage, but you know it does what it needs to do. And then Y on our Xbox board is our strong slash. And if you look at the yellow bar, that's our stamina gauge. And when you use strong slashes or dodges and dashes, it will kind of deplete. So if you kind of use all of it, you end up in this state.
Yeah. You cannot use it anymore.
Yeah. So as you kind of go along through the main city, he starts to discover more people that are here, and is trying to, again, discover who's the devil, or who are devils or demons, and who are those that are still human, because he himself is slowly becoming devilized or becoming possessed.
Okay.
And then
so by interacting with them, you will find out who they are, and maybe you need to at the same time achieve something to proceed with the story, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So in this story, what happens is Kim Rip is kind of going around the city and finding those who are possessed or, you know, demonized in some ways. And as he beats stronger demons, he not only discovers more about the world, but also becomes more devilized himself.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, if you kind of look at old Mega Man games or Mega Man Zero games, when you defeat a boss, you gain their powers.
Right.
It's the similar concept, but more so on the Devil May Cry side, where you become a little bit more, I wouldn't say evil, but not good. This is the way I would say it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is from the mental part, right? From the narration part of the game.
Yeah.
Right?
And the story is kind of from Korean folklore. In Korea, we have a poet named Satgat, and it's based off of one of his stories. But that story is also found in South Asia, East Asia, and all sorts. So the Satgat is the triangular cone hat.
Satgat. Right.
Yeah, and we see that a lot in Southeast Asia. We also see that in South Asia. It just comes with different words or terminology. So when we went to shows, you know, in Taipei or in Tokyo or elsewhere, we found that a lot of people within Asia kind of resonated with the hat itself.
That's right. That's right. That was actually the question I wanted to ask. Right, that's like a very symbolic thing.
Yeah.
Like for the Asian culture.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, so far, have you already learned about Mandarin for Satgat?
Have I learned Mandarin?
Yeah.
I'm studying. It's not going so
well.
well.
For Satgat.
Oh, sorry. So Satgat itself. Yeah. There's Mandarin.
What is it?
I don't remember the name. It's Li.
Don't.
I wouldn't be able to.
Don't. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
That's the word. That's the word.
Because our Korean title or our Chinese title is Ligui. Which is, it's supposed to play on the Satgat and the devil portion of that in there.
Right.
So our publisher actually, our publisher for the Chinese-speaking regions, they came up with a long list of names. Astrolabe is our publisher, and they said Ligui is probably the best way to do it, and not do a direct translation of an English sentence. And
Right.
Yeah. In this section, I'll just show you here. You get to learn a lot of different skills. So in Mega Man games, you have shoot and gain ability.
Right.
But more like in Devil May Cry, you can learn different techniques.
Okay.
And this part of the game, it tells you how to learn set techniques.
Let's go through.
Yeah, and you get a whole bunch of different, what we call factors.
Okay.
That will help you gain speed skills, dodge skills, and things of that nature.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and the reason why we have such an in-depth skill tree is because, if we look at special skills, you can do something called concentrated counterattacks. And what happens is if you parry at the right time, dodge, or dash at the right time, and you fill up like what we would call like a super meter, you can do a strong attack like you see in the thing there.
Wow, that is marvelous. Okay, so
you get rewarded for being patient and not button mashing to a certain extent.
Right. So you have to like pick the right time to attack.
And again, like with the story, just trying to piece in what happened to this city itself. And then you have a spirit who just kind of tells you like, yeah, you're pretty good with the sword. Good stuff. Like, I'm going to stick with you for a bit.
Yeah.
And the game has Metroidvania elements. I'd be hesitant to call it a true Metroidvania in the sense of an interconnected world. But it has Metroidvania elements in that it's quite large maps for stages.
Right.
So stage 1, I would say on average takes about an hour.
An hour for stage 1. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what our demo is right now. Which can be found on Steam. And then each stage will probably take about an hour or so.
And how many stages are there?
Right now, on the demo, we have the tutorial stage and stage 1. We're planning on doing early access, which will probably come in the first half of the year. Okay. Which will have the tutorial plus 3 stages. So stage 1.
Okay, so demo for tutorial and level 1, early access probably for like until level 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what can we expect, like the full version to be different from the early access?
The full version. So you'll have more techniques.
Of course.
And what we've done, and you'll see this in early access actually, each stage after you gain new abilities will will increase the speed of the game essentially. So what
increase the speed of the game?
Yeah, what I mean by that is like right now we don't have an air dash or double jump.
Right.
But as you start going through the game, you'll gain these abilities and the pace of the game moves faster.
Okay.
And so that will be in early access and you'll be able to see that. But when we do full launch, you'll be able to see, I'll show you the menu.
Okay.
You'll be able to see different sword types.
Wow.
You will unlock a gun later in stage 1. So you'll have multiple guns.
Okay.
There are different, I'll call them relics. You'll have relics that augment your skills.
Okay.
And you'll have different costumes as well as artifacts to collect. Again, like
artifacts, right.
Like a Metroidvania, but I'm very hesitant to call it that. And then other skills. So you have a devil's armor thing here. You have acrobatics that have skills that are unlocked. You make your own build of a character.
Right, so like there is really like a huge base for you to develop like the skill and everything about like we call it Kimrip, right?
Kimrip, yes. Absolutely. So in our studio, our CEO loves parrying because he loves Sekiro. Yeah. I am not good at parrying, but I am a die-hard Mega Man fan.
Okay.
And so that's the parry. So if you perfect parry, you can kind of move around. Like the best example would be like Dragon Ball, where you do Ultra Instinct.
Right.
And then you do super attacks. So that purple bar at the bottom is your super meter. If you think of it in Street Fighter terms, you're building a revenge meter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get rewarded for parrying at the right time or dodging at the right time.
I see. Yeah.
And then the full version of the game will have more skills for you to, kind of mess around with.
Oh, okay.
I've played this demo a lot, so it looks like I'm going really fast. But
I know.
I would ask players to really take their time because
right. Yeah. Because this is not just about really just like killing everything, but at the same time, there's a lot to explore, in the environment.
Yeah, so I'll actually show you. So we just made kind of a bit of a shortcut here, which is kind of needed because this is the stage 1 that we've explored so far.
Right.
This is all of stage 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So this is what I mean by, I would say each level probably takes about an hour to fully explore and have fun with. So I'm going to go back to the save point for just a quick moment, just to show. Much like in Souls games, you have 3 potions. And when you go to the campfire, you can level up and do things. So we're going to level up really quickly here. And you get factors. Then we can go to our tech tree and learn new skills.
Ah, I see.
Right, so we have 1 or biofactor. So we're over here. We can get more health. We can get more stamina. And again, you make your own build. So for me, I like dashing. And I love making dash builds.
Right.
Our CEO, Munzi Lee, he is a parry master. And then we have others who do a dodge. And a dodge is a stationary iframe or invincibility frame. Because some people in our office, they found that when they dash, it switches the position too quickly. And they don't feel comfortable with that. Whereas with a parry, it's just very punishing.
Right.
So they'd rather have a stationary dodge. So we really wanted the player to have their own combat build that they like.
Yeah, I can see that, like the purple bar has been like a...
So now we're trying to find a generator and kind of go from there. And when you here, you meet a bigger guy.
Wow.
Oh god,
Oh my god.
That's a mistake. So it starts telling you, like, all right, he's huge. You want to use heavy attacks, which is our Y.
Right.
And be very careful. I've been doing X, and if you parry at the right time, again, in this time you can move around and readjust yourself.
I really like the motion that you did.
Yeah. So you can move around in that time frame so that you can better position yourself.
That's right.
And the reason why I wanted to take viewers in here this way is because this is what I mean by you can find swords.
Oh. Swords.
Yeah. So you can find swords and weaponry.
Okay. What is this one? Cheonggang?
Chonggang.
Yeah. It's a Korean.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it with an English pronunciation. I'm very sorry.
Chonggang. Okay.
So these swords will have different, I would say, stats. So your attack power, your attack speed.
Right. We can see that. Yeah. On the.
So we kind of go from here. You also have collectibles that you can kind of get.
Okay.
And now we have new stuff. But yeah, for people who enjoy the Castlevania, Devil May Cry, Sekiro 2D-based games, I think they'll really enjoy this. I think it is hard for players who aren't used to those games. So in the full launch and early access, we're planning on doing difficulty levels.
Right.
To make sure that everyone has a chance to be able to play the game.
I know, because like you mentioned Sekiro. Sekiro is like a super difficult one to master. So yeah, the fact that you made it into like different levels could definitely making the gaming experience more like friendly or like a more customized.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We also have Hete, which is a mythical creature in Korea.
Right.
And if you collect them, you can't pet him. We've been trying.
Cute.
Our community has told us let us pet him, and I said no.
You should.
But what you do is if you collect Hetes, they open the map for you. Right? So like that, they open the map, and you get something called Hete skills, which if you look in your items here, later on you can kind of exchange them for something more. Right. And yeah, that's the Metroidvania elements of it. But we focus more on the... If Metroidvania is Metroid games and Castlevania, we focused more on the Castlevania side of it.
Okay, I can tell, I can tell. Ah, it's still here. Oh, another one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're big. And if you see the red highlight, that would be in, I guess, like MMO terms, a super armor.
Ah, okay.
So you can damage them, but you can't knock them out of their style. So you have to use dodge, parries, and dashes accordingly. Because if you don't, then you will be punished. And that's something that we wanted to kind of emphasize, regardless of difficulty level, is that we don't want you to button mash all the time.
Right.
We want you to kind of be careful with how you attack things.
Right. So you need to like follow the right patterns to really like undemonize it.
Yeah, exactly. So just in a moment, I'm sorry, I'm continuously playing and talking.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
So there's new things. So we got new blue factors and whatnot. Blue is for agility. So if we go here, you can do perfect dodges and perfect parries, which will allow you to do more stuff. So I want this, and I will take you, and more stamina.
Unlucky ones.
Wait, I can't do it. Because like I said, you have a yellow factor, and you need a purple factor. So purple factors eventually.
Right. So for now, we have the yellow one.
Yeah, so we just keep going, and it will let you know. There will be a boss right after this. So that's the kind of part I want to show you, because
I want to see that, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of our players hated me for being happy about this boss, but like it's kind of creepy looking, but I really like the design. Our team is, you asked me before, like kind of describe the team. Our team is quite large. I would say we have about now, we started with 3, now we have about 19 to 20 people.
Wow.
But they all vary in experience. So our leadership group, which is about 4 people, all have experience in the Korean gaming industry and bring it to a global audience. And they share, I wouldn't say share, sorry, they each have about 18 to 20 years of experience.
Right.
They're incredible people. Then there's people like myself who have about 5 to 8 years of experience in the Korean or in just the gaming industry in general.
Right.
And we have a lot of new people as well. A lot of people who are fresh out of university. And the reason why we're so proud of that is we have a good cycle of information being shared. You have people who are veterans who know the industry inside out.
Right.
You have people like myself who are, I shouldn't say myself, that's very cocky, but like, you have people with years of experience like myself who are in between generations.
Right.
And then you have the newer people who are just so vastly creative. You know, a lot of our young people, younger workers, created the backgrounds from scratch, and they did so good.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's like you actually like get to gather or like blend the merits of different generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, to actually make this happen.
And they get to kind of talk to each other, and we have a pretty free and open space of sharing communication.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
I adore this boss. I know a lot of our players on our Discord hate it, but it just...
He's like throwing out something.
Yeah, he throws like random enemies.
Okay, right.
And so, see, that's the exhaustion. And you don't want to be exhausted.
I know.
But he also does a weird tackle thing.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is the first real skill check of like, you don't want to be button mashing.
Right.
And you really want to know your timing and stuff.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, that's a mistake. So that's a perfect. So if you see a perfect, you have dodged in the right timing.
Right.
And the reason why we included the word perfect, because usually you don't need an indicator because nothing really happens at that point. But we included it so that players can understand their own timing. So if you see the perfect, you have a visual cue now of what the timing is.
Right.
Oh, God. He's going to charge, isn't he? Yep.
Oh.
Yep, I got hurt. That's a mistake. Oh, God.
Not even close. Okay. Oh.
So now we only have 2 potions left, but we're actually okay. We're doing all right here. This is
we are.
one of my favorite bosses.
Oh, you smash it.
Yeah, because once that happens, you get to pick up your gun. So in stage 1, you get the gun.
Right.
The gun is very powerful.
Okay.
I really like the design. It is, but because it's so powerful, we made it kind of difficult to use.
Okay.
In the sense of, in older platforming games, if you have a long-range attack, it usually fires in a straight line. What we want to do is teach the player to aim their gun properly because they're quite strong.
Okay.
Now we're doing all right.
Okay.
And now with our gun, we introduce a new hurdle, which is shielded enemies. This butterfly comes in, and now he's suddenly shielded and has more health. So once you beat him, a butterfly pops out.
Right.
If you don't beat this butterfly, if you don't hit it, it's going to go to the next enemy and shield them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so when can we expect this game to be out?
So right now, our early access, like I said, is in April.
Yeah, April.
April-ish, I would say. And then the full launch is most likely going to be late this year, early next year.
Late this year, early next year.
The optimist in me says, you know, late this year. The realist in me says early next year. And the only reason I say that is because we want to make sure that our console version, because we're planning on doing a PlayStation version.
Okay.
We want to make sure that it's optimized and QA'd properly.
Okay.
And so we're going to take our time with kind of making that happen.
Of course. Okay, so for those who want to know more about this game, where can they find you?
They can find us on Steam. They can find us also on our website, newcoregames.com.
Okay.
And on that homepage, you'll be able to find all our social media channels, which would be Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and I would also say, honestly, Discord.
Discord,
because I'm personally on there, and I'll speak primarily in English.
Right.
If we have Korean speakers who are watching, I'll also speak in Korean.
Right.
But yeah, Discord would be a place to kind of gather around, do speed runs together, and have information about the game.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I really looking forward to see it happening, and please do follow them on their social medias and go to their websites and try the demo. Give them your feedbacks and help them to make the game like a better version of itself. And this leads us to the end of the session. But before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to say to your fans or people who are more interested in this game?
Honestly, so far, I do want to give a shout out to our community. They helped us a lot, whether it be the Steam community, Discord community, people on social media that are giving us feedback. We made a lot of changes to the game in terms of mechanics. Because of how the fans have kind of responded and let us know this was a pain point, this is what we really like. So thank you to everyone who's given us feedback. Thank you to people who will give us feedback. And yeah, join us in Discord and let's have a conversation.
Cool. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for sharing this game with me. I really had a great time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Cheers.
Okay, so everyone, that leads us to the end of the session. We have still 2 games to go for today's schedule. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back in a second.